I feel like the Phoenix Suns, even before the new owner Matt Ishbia took over, they've been every year just prioritizing something about this team's depth. Even before they got Kevin Durant, they were always trying to tweak this team because it wasn't enough. I want to hear your thoughts. The report we're hearing right now from John Gambadoro of Arizona Sports FM. Suns to prioritize adding a point guard as well as a wing and a backup big man in the offseason. Now, the report is the Phoenix Suns. Obviously, we know they lost the first round to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Despite that, they are a team that is over the second apron, and they're limited in their ability to add outside talent. Like, they can't aggregate salaries in a trade. And Phoenix has those three priorities: wing depth, a backup big, and a guard. Now, personally, if you can figure out a way to turn Josip Nurkic into two players, like the whole thing is like there's now it's Little and Josip Nurkic are the two contracts they can use, but you have to use them in separate trades and you have to find guys on cheaper deals. It's basically what I'm getting at. And the Suns want to add a true point guard. They're obsessed with TJ McConnell, but he's not going anywhere. And they want a backup point guard or a starting point guard who can play 20 minutes a night. They thought Jordan Goodwin was going to be that guy when they got him a throw-in the trade, but that didn't happen. I think if they go out and get a guy like Tyler Kolek in the draft, that's kind of perfect for them. So the Suns relied on mostly veterans last year on minimum deals. So they're looking to get somebody better than Drew Eubanks, even though Eubanks wasn't terrible. However, if they're going to keep Nurkic, Eubanks and Nurkic are arguably similar big men, even though I personally rather have Eubanks than Nurkic. As a second apron team, the Suns are limited to how they can add talent. The Phoenix Suns can re-sign their own free agents, sign draft picks, and sign players at minimum contracts. The Suns can't make trades, but they can aggregate player salaries together. They can't take back any money more than they trade out in a trade. So, and they also, Bradley Beal had nose surgery. Now, I have said if you can turn Josip Nurkic into, if the Houston Rockets are in your conference, so this isn't a deal that they would want to do, but dude, again, I don't think they have anybody you'd be interested in. So then you look at the rest of the roster, in my opinion, not the rest of the roster. I think the Orlando Magic are a team that, Wendell Carter, if you can somehow flip your first round pick in this year's draft with Josip Nurkic for Wendell Carter and some second round picks so you can still have your second round pick going into several second round picks in this year, because that's the way to build a team is getting second round picks. And there's going to be several guys like Jalen Bridges, and I mean, if at this point you're getting a big and you want to move on for Eubanks, that Ariel Huckaborty could be a guy, but I don't know if he fits what they're going to want to do down there. I think getting I don't know if Bobby Clinton is the type of guy they want either. I just think if you look at a team like, I think that figure out the backup big men later, like Mason Plumlee would be fine if he were somehow available, but Wendell Carter makes 11.9. Josip Nurkic makes like just under $20 million, like 18 or 19. So in theory, you could think that maybe try to do a trade where you send Josip Nurkic, the first round pick, for a second in the future, multiple seconds in future drafts, or a second in this year's and another one in the future, and then you ask for a guy like Caleb Houston as well, or you ask for, I think at that point, because you're looking, because Chumo KK's on a qualifying, I mean, he's like hitting free agency, so is Gary Harris. I'm pretty sure Caleb Houston is under salary. Yeah, Caleb Houston. So you would try to get Caleb Houston, and Wendell Carter for Jusuf Nurkic, and right there you have yourself. You hope Caleb Houston's ready to play after 2 seasons on the bench, and you still fill out the rest of the team, the roster, but that's a way that you get yourself a new starting center and maybe go out and get yourself Goga Bitsadeh, Mason Plumlee, Daniel Tice. I want to say, I'm trying to think if there's any other former Mike Budenholzer type big man. Like a Robin Lopez could always end up there. You could also try to go out and try to trade for Brook. I think Brook is too expensive, though. By the way, I don't think there's anybody else on the Magic roster that you can trade for. So, looking at that, it makes sense if you're the Phoenix Suns and you're trying to figure out, all right, what can we do, as your options are limited. And I get that. I want to think of another team. Portland could be a team that you do business with. And I don't think they're going to take on Jusuf Nurkic. So that would be, and Naslo's another guy. So I don't think Portland is a team that you're going to do business with. Washington, though, if they want to take on Jusuf Nurkic's final year of the deal and send you second-round picks like I earlier said, there's the options of either Rashawn Holmes, Marvin Bagley. You could probably get, if you believe in Patrick Baldwin, to be a combo forward who can be a small ball big man. There's that. Eugene Omarui looked good at parts for us. Jared Butler did too. Those are the type of deals. Like, you could arguably say, hey, give us Jared Butler, Patrick Baldwin. Or say, give us Patrick Baldwin, because I think they like Jared Butler, the Wizards. Give us Patrick Baldwin, Eugene Omarui, and Rashawn Holmes for Jusuf Nurkic. And there you get 3 players, and you can still go out and get yourself a starting big. Not a starting big. I guess, yeah, in this case, we need to go out to get a starting big, because Rashawn Holmes, I'm sorry, I believe he can do a big man by committee. He's not that bad, but I don't think he should be. If you say, go out and get Rob Lopez then, and you have yourself Rob Lopez, Rashawn Holmes, and either, as I said earlier, Mason Plumlee throw in, or maybe Mason Plumlee or Daniel Tice is the easy options, but you have like Dario Saric, so you could think of Precious Achiuwa, and I think Jalen Smith would be another name to throw out there. Guys who can go play, multiple positions for them, I think would be huge. And then going back to, if they want to find a point guard, as a Russell Westbrook, a Patrick Beverly, I don't think they'll afford Tyus Jones, but they can still go deep. Spencer Dinwiddie, Chris Dunn. There's options out there for them.